Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys another Marvel Rivals video where today I'm going to be talking about Mantis, the best duelist in the game. Sorry, did I say duelist? I meant duelist. I actually mean it. She's just better at getting kills and doing damage than all the other actual duelists in the game. Oh, also she heals and has a pretty good ultimate too, and a pretty cheeky CC. As I hit it on the magic there trying to go in. Yeah, so for Season 0, I know she got a small nerf for Season 1, but for Season 0, she had the highest win percentage in both quick play and competitive. Just straight up. Buyers, I mean, that's kind of weird for a game like this, for the ¡1 character be the same in both quick play and competitive, especially when that probably wasn't your guess unless you already knew that, or yeah, I know you've played this game a lot. Most people wouldn't have thought that, and nobody has really complained much about Mantis. People complain about Luna because of her ult is really good at being defensive. People complained about Shang-Chi because he'd wipe you out in the backline, and people have yet to learn to peel. By the way, they never will. Nobody's peeling in Overwatch, and it's been 6 years. But yeah, Mantis can help peel for herself, as you can see with that stun. She is self-sufficient. She can heal herself. She can buff herself. She can buff the teammates. She can heal the teammates. She's got a pretty awesome ult that can help counter other ults a little bit. And oh, by the way, she's just better at killing people than your DPS characters are going to be. Look, I get it. The vast majority of people are going to pick DPS in every game, no matter what, even if it's the weakest role. We've seen it in Overwatch, and people are saying we're seeing it in Marvel Rivals right now. People are saying that triple support is the meta at the highest ranks. Makes a lot of sense. Heck, I basically predicted as much, and it wasn't difficult to see because I've played these games before. Right? It's pretty obvious when you have an objective-based game that the best way to win is to win the objective, because that's the point. How do you win an objective? You're on it and the enemy team isn't. How do you do that the best? Put a bunch of healthy characters on it and keep them alive. So yeah, you're going to want tanks and you're going to want supports. So yeah, people are complaining about that. Oh, just a week ago, people weren't complaining because they were like, no, I want every game to be 60 DPS versus 60 DPS, and we shouldn't have roll queue because everything's perfect and everything's great. And now people are like, oh, we need to get rid of all these supports because we can't stand a role not being DPS being strong in a video game. That's the #1 crime. Look, it is what it is, and I bet all the supports are going to get nerfed again. Luna and Mantis got nerfed in the first patch of the game, and I guess they're gonna get nerfed again, right? But until then, and probably even after then, take advantage of it by playing Mantis, playing Luna, playing Invisible Woman. More so the first two, because Invisible Woman's got a bit of a range issue. You know, she's not gonna be the best on every map, but if you want to poke at long range, yo, Mantis and Luna got you covered. If you want to keep your team alive and get a bunch of heals, Lunas and Mantis got you covered. If you want an ult that can help against storms coming at you, or a big Groot ult, or Eye of Agamotto, Lunas and Manta and Invisible Woman gotcha. All right, I know it's early right now and I'm out killing everybody, but that doesn't change, okay? I've played like 20-something games as Mantis so far in this game. Yeah, I know, I don't have a ton of time played in this game. But I've only ever lost 2 games with Mantis. Just 2. Because she's just so freaking strong. It's pretty easy to see why she had the #1 win rate in both quick play and competitive. She does a ton of healing and does a ton of damage. I mean, I've mentioned it before. I'm playing Luna, where I'm almost always going to be out KOing and out damaging at least half the damage players. And that's also the case with Mantis, but even more so because she does more damage. She's got the 4-leave thing right now, part of her kit, and it's not difficult to figure out. You gain charges over time, or if you land a critical hit. You can use the leaf to self-buff yourself, which gives you a boost in damage and speed and every time you consume a leaf, by the way, you also heal yourself a little bit. You can use one of your leaves to heal one of your teammates. You can use one of the leaves to buff one of your teammates' damage. And then you also have the stun, which is really great, especially against those flankers. They're trying to come up against you or your support partner, or someone just coming in with a big ult like possibly Penny here. Stop them in their tracks. You make that ult less impactful because you're burning off their clock, because they're going for a little bit of a snooze all up in the middle of that. But she's also pretty straightforward. Takes a bit of aim. Her heals don't, much like Cloak and Dagger, so if you're worried about that, it's just lock on, like Life Weaver kind of deal. But you always want to start off popping a self buff, because you are going to be out damaging the damaged characters the vast majority of the time. They aren't going to expect much from you. I don't get why. Even though she's got all these, people aren't really talking about Mantis. People are complaining about certain tanks and certain other supports or certain DPS and, not being peeled for, and flanking, and having quad and penta DPS players and throwers and healers not healing, which doesn't happen that often, but I've seen it happen. And people aren't really complaining about Mantis right now, so maybe she doesn't get a hard nerf in the next patch, or maybe it takes a couple of patches. Who knows? But all I know is I've only ever lost 2 games with her, and for the most of this game, just like most games, there's going to be 6 duelists in the lobby. 3 on your team usually, sometimes 2, sometimes 4. I've even had one game where we had 1. And same for the enemy team, right? So typically there's going to be 6 DPS characters on the field. As Luna, as Mantis, as Invisible Woman, every single game without fail, unless we just got super stomped because we were playing quad DPS and just all of us died instantly every fight and the game lasts 3 minutes, I have outkilled at least half of the duelist characters. Maybe it's because I'm better. Maybe it's because the average DPS player just isn't that good, because that's the majority of players. Majority of players are DPS players, so the average, right, with the larger sample size is just gonna dumb down the numbers, right? That's law of averages. That's how that ish works. But also, maybe I'm pretty decent, and maybe Mantis is pretty freaking good. I mean, look, we got a Penny Parker here with 2 wide open chokes. Like, we don't have a shield or like a hard corner that they have to push past. Not the best tank to go. And yeah, they have Penny too, but they end up getting more tanks in there because they're trying to throw anything at the wall to get it to stick. And this is a pretty quick game. This is like a 10, 11 minute game. And I pop off with 32 eliminations. Get rid of the Shang-Chi. He had no success outside of solo ulting me. Anytime he went after me or another squishy on my team, I killed him. I slept him, damaged him away to where he had to run away or pop his own ult just to kill me. It doesn't matter. And Mantis, she's applicable everywhere. It doesn't matter if she has team ups or not. It's really great when she does. Obviously, sometimes you might want to pick Adam Warlock for his team up. Maybe sometimes you'll want to pick Jeff for his team up, or you'll want to pick Rocket for his team up. Those can be really powerful. But if you are like most people, because most people play DPS, and I have to imagine most people pick DPS because, yeah, sure, it's the easiest thing to do. It always will be in every game, always will, always has been, always will be, right? And you don't have as much responsibility as a DPS in most people's eyes. Not a lot of people complain about their DPS. Maybe if they have 5 or 6 of them, people will complain. In which case there were 6, you'd be one of them, so you'd be part of the problem. But regardless, maybe you're just throwing just because you're mad that they all pick DPS. But where was I going with this? Most people, I think, pick DPS because they're simple and fun, and they do all the damage and get all the kills. If you want to do all the damage and get all the kills, play Mantis, people. Play Mantis. Because her ability to self-buff and sleep and have an ult where she's going to be difficult to kill and you can keep dishing out damage and keeping everybody on your team topped up, you're just not going to lose very often. And she's got some CC. Speak of the devil, Mr. Doctor Strange. If he comes in, I have slept easily. It's such an easy ult to see coming and stop. If they have a Doctor Strange and you know he's got ult, Just play that corner, play with your tank. You know he's going to pop it, and you have all the time in the world to hit that window where you just completely cancel his ult. And there's a couple of other ults like that as well, but we all know Strange is super common, and that's a really, really impactful ult and can pop off and get pentas and sextuples quite often. But Mantis, I mean, he's popping the ult, so he's not shielding himself during it. So I've had plenty of easy cases where, like, I know he's got ult, I'm just going to wait around this corner, or, you know, play safe, and as soon as he says boom, he's slept, boom, he has no ult, and the enemy team is completely demoralized. One of the best things to do in these games is to demoralize the enemy. It doesn't matter what role you're on, but Mantis is one of the easier ones to do, especially since people aren't expecting it. For whatever reason, the game's been out long enough for people, I think, should be able to expect and realize what is good. Hawkeye, for instance, was like super overrated. Yeah, he was strong at the beginning, but not as strong as everybody was saying, especially when Hela was out there doing way more, and she like barely got a nerf. She got a nerf to her health. Her damage is going to get affected. Hawkeye's did, and his win rate is actually one of the lower ones in the game. Even at the end of Season 0 it was. So not everyone has a great idea of how this game should be played. Most people don't peel. Most people don't shoot Penny's Nest or shoot at the Iron Man or the Storm in the sky. And most people will never pay attention to Mantis and the damage that she deals. This is consistent, easy stuff. So we had 6 DPS in this lobby for most of the time. I had more KOs than all of them, more assists than all of them, more final hits than all of them, more damage than all of them, and I almost led the lobby in heals as well. Yeah, we steamrolled and I didn't even die for the defense, and we had a good team. But guys, this is consistency. This is power. This is damage. This is kills. This is MVPs. This is Mantis. This is what she does. Take advantage now or forever if everyone just keeps ignoring her.